Hello YouTube, this is Artwakened Mind speaking. So I'm brand new to YouTube. I've never done a video, so this is just going to be very raw and very just out there. So just, have patience with me as I learn this platform. So basically, why am I starting YouTube, I guess is a good place to start. So, the reason why I'm starting is because I feel like I have a lot to say about art and life, and so I would like to express that, and I think YouTube is the way to go today. I mean, there's a way to reach millions of people. I've never really been into like technology and a lot of that. I've kind of been very old school. Basically just pencil and paper, and never did any digital art really. So I've never but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I've found it very helpful, and to hear about other people's experiences and stuff. So yeah, so what I'd like to focus on in this channel is basically, art and life, and how those two go, I feel, hand in hand. Or, experiences help us, express whatever vision we have, So that's a good start, I feel. Um, so basically, one end of my channel, it's going to be one channel, but basically it's going to be explaining the language of drawing and how I feel it's pretty much it's visual communication. I believe it's the simplest way to express something in a language. So I'm going to explain that more and what I mean by that. And then I'd also like to discuss like just my life experiences, my struggles in life, and I how that influences my art, and how that's led me to create this YouTube channel, and led me to create art. So I guess I can talk about a little bit about my background as an artist. I think that would be helpful. Like I said, this is just an intro video, so it's kind of a little bit all over the place. I don't quite know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be open and honest, that's all. So, growing up, I had some hard times, sort of, learning, and learning in a classroom, more so. And I didn't speak much when I was younger. I had, like, selective mutism, I believe. So it was really hard for me to communicate with anybody, really. It was just like, I just always had my sketchbook, or like something to draw with, and that was, I felt, my way of communicating, because I really couldn't put it into words. But in drawing, I could put a lot, I could say a lot, but in words I couldn't, But now I can fluently speak, but I still have very bad social anxiety, and through high school, middle school, all those years are very hard, making friends, communicating, all that stuff. And But over the years, I got through high school, got through middle school, and those years were all very hard years, but now I can see there were like tons of growth through those years. So, like, I just remember all these I knew I wasn't dumb, but I was put in these like special education classes just because I couldn't keep up with the bigger classes, and they were just too much for me, and I was just like I was just a sensitive artist, who didn't know how to, really communicate what I was feeling. So I would just kind of not do much of the work, and just kind of do the work to get by. I got good grades, I got A's and B's and stuff, but I just most of the time I would spend it drawing. I would try to get out of the way whatever bullcrap that they were trying, like math, science, all that stuff, just didn't really interest me, or didn't interest me in the way they were teaching it. So so I kind of, had a hard sort of. I had very supportive parents. I didn't have much friends, but I did have supportive family, so it wasn't tough in that way. It was just the school thing. But then I would graduate and I would move on to a graphic design school, and that was interesting because I felt I kind of really liked fine art. I liked painting, I liked drawing and stuff, and I wasn't really into like the graphic design or any digital formatted kind of art making. But it came to a point where I was like, well, I don't see many people making money with fine art, and you always hear that starving artist thing, like you can't make money at it, so don't do it. So I kind of had that fear, and all those voices kind of like, okay, maybe I shouldn't go to a fine art school. Maybe graphic design will be a more successful career route, it was a smart move, but it wasn't like the heart move. You know what I mean? It wasn't like my heart was in the drawing and the painting and the physical craft of drawing, but not in the digital. They were just like, I always felt kind of disconnected, which is weird because now I'm doing YouTube and it's like I'm entering into the digital world, but I've kind of come down to it. That's kind of the way of the world right now, and I kind of have to go with the flow of it, even though I'd like to stay like the old school ways, but I am in this generation, and it is a great tool to have. If Da Vinci or Michelangelo or any of them are alive, I'm sure they would be using all of their any technologies that were available. So I can't, deny that. So anyways, so about a year through that graphic design school, I decided, that wasn't for me. It was more of like, this is the smart choice, but not the hard choice. So I went on for about 2 or 3 years being kind of confused, didn't know what I was going to do with my life, kind of not a midnight life crisis but early. I just kind of, I know what I want. I knew I wanted to study fine art. I knew I wanted to get really good at drawing and painting. But it was just about 2 or 3 years after leaving that I just a lot of self-reflection, a lot of working on my own drawings and paintings, but kind of getting nowhere, kind of going in a cycle. But there were also, I feel, very important years to go through. So through those years, I had finally reached out to an old art teacher that I used to go to as a kid, and he had pointed me in the direction of this fine art school that was that he had attended workshops at, and he said that it was a very good school to go to, and that school is called Studio and Commodati, and it's in Philadelphia. It's a great school. I highly recommend it. It's a very small, intimate. There might be like 50 students total. It's a great school. So I'm glad that he had suggested that, and I took the risk and went for it. And now I'm in my 3rd year, and I can't say the first couple of years weren't hard, and I wasn't struggling, because I was, and there was many tears and a lot of pain through those first 2 years. But now my third year, I'm kind of coming to understand what I want to do with my art, and learning to. It was a lot of the social anxieties and being in classes, but I think I've kind of got my feet underneath me, and I started going to therapy, and I've been working through a lot of that stuff, a lot of mental health stuff. And I'm kind of just now starting to, gain the confidence in my art. I knew it was there all along, but it was just kind of embracing that and like holding on to it a little bit more. So that's where I'm kind of at now. And I feel really good about it, but there's still days, but it's probably the best I've been in a while. So I wanted this video to be, about me, the personal, very personal, honest, and I don't know if that's too personal, but I feel the art and the person go hand in hand, so I don't want to just give you the art and not understand the person that I am. So yeah, this is like the intro video, but I believe the first video I'll do will be just talking about the language of drawing, and just like the basic, like I said, I feel it's the most basic language. If you think of it, like the cavemen, and like on the walls of cave, like that's how early this goes back. There's like drawings on caves, like, and I'm pretty sure the cavemen like did not know English or Spanish. They were visual communicators, I believe. And maybe that's a bit far-fetched, but I believe we live in a visual world, and so I feel like visual language is it's weird these days though, because it's not art and drawing and painting and all that are kind of just looked at as like hobbies, or like something for just the talented people that know how to do it, when really it's just another language. It's just like Spanish, it's just like English, it's just like French, maybe even more simpler if I can explain it. And that's what I help to do, is help others, through, I think art it can be very therapeutic. And there's a lot of people that I feel like express their art, but they don't. I feel if they had that deeper understanding of the actual language, I feel a lot of people they're trying to express something, but they're not quite getting, I feel, what they want, because they don't have that understructure. And this is just my way of thinking. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe just expressing is art itself, but I believe there's that like underneath I don't know if I'm making sense, but hopefully in the first video, the actual video after this one, that'll be talking about the language of drawing. Hopefully I'll get that point across then. But thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe to Artwakened Mind. And any questions, anything that you'd like to learn about me or just about art, just type it in the comment section. Okay, see you.